Hello, I'm Jana.
I'm Mike.
And this is the Sleeve Chef. I apologize for any technical difficulties, and I thank you for staying on with us. Again, my name is Jana Wolff. I'm the Director of Nutrition at the Comprehensive Obesity Management Program. I want to give a big thank you to WMAR2 for you for joining us and staying, and for the marketing department, and for our wonderful guests. So why don't we start by introducing ourselves? Rachel, you could take it away.
Well, thanks for having me. My name is Rachel. I had my sleeve gastrectomy back in February of this year. It's been a huge life changer. Dr. Dovek did my surgery at GBMC. It's been a wonderful experience, all the support from Jana and the Comp family. And I recently played softball after not having played for many years, and I got 3 RBIs. Runs batted in, thank you very much. And for the first time in a long time, it was actually fun to play, and I could run the bases, and it was easier to do it about 80 pounds later. So
amazing.
So
amazing.
And thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And Dawn, why don't you tell us about you?
My name is Dawn Moore, and I had my surgery on July the 2nd of 2019. I feel better. I feel like I look better, thank God, and I'm looking forward to the many changes and exciting new things that will bring about with this new surgery.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We're going to have you back up at the end, and you're going to be able to taste our beautiful stir fry.
Yum.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So before we start, I just want to do a couple of updates, okay?
Yes,
Are you
please.
ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So first off, December 12th, I want everyone to mark their calendars. This is a huge date, and you know what I'm going to say, right? It's the big reveal, and everyone can join us. We had so many people last year, and it was awesome because you get to see everyone's before and after stories, and you can even be featured on it. You just have to RSVP on Dr. Dovek's page. On the she has a comp reveal page as well, so you could just RSVP however many people you want to bring. And I also do want to mention, and just as a reminder to all patients, if you're doing Nutri or not doing Nutri, make an appointment with me. If you want to just catch up on all the materials that are there, a lot of people seem to be struggling sometimes with the diet. You know, this will help, obviously, you know, preparing our meals. We're going to talk.
As we're getting ready to go into the holiday season. I don't want to say too soon, but it's happening.
Holiday season and the fall season,
and
just getting back to school.
Pumpkin spice lattes are coming back.
Oh my goodness.
I know I'm excited. I can't speak for the crowd. However,
we got to see if there's a sugar-free pumpkin spice.
I'm certain to have it.
I'll let you guys know. But so just make an appointment with me if you want. You just have to give the office a call and say that you want an appointment with me.
Great.
Okay.
Awesome.
So what are we doing today?
We are, well, first of all, thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. It's so great to see all of you. We are doing a delicious beef stir fry. I love beef stir fry. It's simple, it's healthy, it's delicious, it's full of flavor, and it's quick.
Yes.
Even better, right? This is all our favorite things wrapped up into one. We've got some great flank steak over here, got everything prepared ahead of time. Really important to do this dish that way. It really helps speed up the process.
Good.
It's gonna be light, healthy, and delicious.
So we got our protein, our non-starchy veggies.
Exactly.
We also have some anti-inflammatory stuff like the ginger and the mushrooms and everything. So that's going to be exciting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome. Let's do it.
Great, let's do it. So we went ahead and cut up our flank steak ahead of time, guys. I know we've got skirt there in the recipe, but you're welcome to substitute flank as well. You'll get a bit more flavor from flank than you do from skirt. I would, again, cut it against the grain. You really want to shoot for, see how I cut it here? This is really, really important. Notice how this is just, again, against the grain, because if you cut it with the grain, it's just going to be chewy and tough. So we're going to take our flank, and we're going to take some low sodium soy. Definitely recommend this.
And I was looking up the difference between the sodium with the soy sauce and coconut aminos. If you're watching your sodium because of high blood pressure, you definitely want to choose something like coconut aminos, or at least the low sodium version of the soy sauce.
Absolutely. And then we got some Sriracha as well. So again, you can cater this to your own personal preference.
We were just talking about spice levels.
Yep.
Rachel had gone to Thailand, and she
made a little trip to the east.
may have overdone it with the spiciness.
Discovered the difference between Western spicy and Thai spicy, which I encourage all of you to recognize. It's a very important distinction.
Yes, tell us.
Western spicy is going to be sort of your traditional, you order Chinese food, you order Thai food, you don't specify how you want it. it's going to be cooked. The spice level is going to be much lower. Thai spicy is a whole other animal. It is very, very spicy. Thai food, I love Thai food, but it is notoriously hot. The idea being to make you sweat, to help you perspire and cool you down, because Thailand is very, very hot and very, very humid.
Interesting. Yeah, so if you do suffer from acid reflux, I'd go with the Western spicy.
Yep, exactly. So we're going to do the juice of 2 limes here as well, so some nice acid.
And I just want to encourage everyone that's come on, thank you so much for staying, and feel free to ask any questions, whether it's food related, diet related, anything that you want to ask.
We
is
are
perfectly
here
fine.
for you.
And as we prepare this, I'm going to talk a little bit also about meal prep, because
please.
this is one of those dishes that is classic for meal prep because it's so easy, quick, and you can produce a lot of it over the course of a week. And I do encourage everyone to purchase things like this. This is just like a Ziploc or Glad 8-ounce or 1 cup measure. And this is what you should be consuming basically 1 month and beyond. It shouldn't be really overflowing more than a cup and a half. So you might want to already get the things that you know are 1 cup measurement. Okay, and the only things that should be overflowing on a cup is the non-starchy veggies, right?
Exactly.
Okay, good.
So we got some salt, some pepper here for our beef. Again, this is just a very, very quick marinade. Give this guy a quick toss. You could do this marinade ahead of time if you want. I would go, you can easily go 4 to 6 hours ahead of time if you want. You can do it quick like we're doing here.
Does it make a huge difference if you let it sit that long?
It does.
Okay.
Yep. So basically, with any marinade, you're going to see a couple combinations, right? You're going to see acid being one and oil being the other, and some salt, right? Salt will pull the moisture out. Acid will help denature protein, which will break that protein down, which will help the meat cook quicker. And it's just going to, as the salt pulls that moisture out, it's going to bring everything back in. So that's where you're going to start to see the meat will cook quicker to be a bit more flavorful, et cetera. Okay. So for this particular application, we're going to do a very quick marinade. Exactly, and more tender.
Yeah, which I've seen a lot of people struggling with the protein sources specifically, whether it's chicken or beef, people having trouble digesting things. And of course, I'm going to recommend smaller bites.
Exactly.
And with that said, I have to show you guys this awesome portion fork. Do you see? It has.
Look at this.
So this is actually made by someone in Maryland. It's a Maryland product, so that's kind of neat because it's local. And the portion fork, it essentially has the bite size is right here, how much you should be biting, and it's about the size of a jelly bean. Everything else falls right in the middle. So if you're having trouble with your small bite sizes, please, this is a really good option.
Love it, love it, love it.
Rachel, you had a question.
Does it, or any other meat, will it soften it the same way it'll do to like poultry or to seafood or poultry?
One more time.
If you add the citrus to the meat, will it soften it?
Yes. So the longer it sits, the more those proteins will start to denature and break down. So it will help to actually make the beef more tender, and again, you could digest it easier as a result.
All right.
So yeah, guys, we had a nice. So our pan is over medium heat right now. We added a tablespoon of olive oil to our marinade, and now we're just going to let this sit and cook.
Okay, we're asking if we can get a close-up of the fork, and that's my friend Robin, everyone. Thank you for joining. And thank you, Janice, Nicole, Andrea. And please, yes, let us know if you're having any trouble seeing. Okay. Can you see it now?
Look at that.
Awesome. Great. Okay, thank you guys so much for joining.
So what we got going on here, guys, is we went ahead and added our mixture in, including the marinade. We want the marinade in there because we're going to basically saute/stew this beef, saute this flank steak, and you'll see it's going to cook very, very quickly, which I love.
So if you're doing this if you're stewing it, could you potentially do this in like a crock pot or an Instapot?
Yeah. So what you could do is you could
Might
do the beef. You could do the beef like slow cook it ahead of time.
Right.
And then almost like a pull, like do the entire flank steak, marinate it ahead of time, or skirt steak, marinate it ahead of time, and then toss it in, and then toss the whole thing in and just set it on, and just let it cook for 4 to 6 hours while you're away. That will start to actually break it down.
So that might be a good weeknight thing.
Exactly.
If you're not feeling like cooking at night.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, great. Cool.
Exactly.
Okay, and another way, now we brought some chopsticks, okay? The chopsticks are actually another way to slow down. And the only reason I'm going over these different utensils is because there's so often that folks are having trouble digesting foods. So one of the main reasons that you have trouble digesting is because potentially you could be having too big of a bite, not chewing enough, eating too quickly.
Yeah, that was one of my main things that I still struggle with is just, like python eating is what I like to like joke about it as, like where you're just eating the thing whole rather than actually like chewing it up.
Right.
Because what people don't realize is that the teeth aid much more in digestion.
Yes.
Because you've got smaller amounts, and teeth are just breaking everything up.
Yeah, so like right now, if you didn't get the surgery, let's say, your stomach would do a lot of the mechanical breakdown, the mechanical digestion. So you have to actually help digest the food with those teeth.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
That's it. That's the idea.
Exactly. And then two, if you are having problems, you really want to focus, especially with fibrous meats like flank steak, beef, pork, chicken. You want to focus on softer stuff, right? Fish is a great option. If you want something that's going to break down and be much softer and easier to digest.
Right.
If you're having trouble digesting, but still, you still want to make sure that you chew. Even if it sounds silly, but what worked for me was going, okay, 20, 21, 22, counting the number of times that you chew.
Yeah. And I think that the idea that we kind of go crazy over this is because if you don't digest these certain proteins
Look at
very
this
well,
deliciousness. Yum,
beautiful.
yum.
Then you're going to limit yourself on what types of proteins you can have, and you're going to find yourself thinking, oh God, there's no protein that I can actually digest if you don't do it slower.
Correct.
So I think that chopsticks are a really fun way of eating. You might need the ones that have assistance on the top, but either way, you take smaller bites and you're able to slow down a little bit with the chopsticks.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and remove our beef from our pan here.
Okay, and Chris is asking what veggies
down.
are we using tonight? Let's see.
Great question. Let me give you a little overview here. We are using all kinds of deliciousness. So we've got some fresh ginger.
The key word is fresh.
Fresh ginger. Don't none of that. Oh, I used dried ginger. It didn't turn out the same. That's because you used dried ginger. Fresh ginger is your friend.
Did you cut that up?
I did. Yep.
Okay.
So it's a minced ginger, and then we have a minced garlic. Again, fresh garlic. There's Indian grocery stores and some more local stores will sell a ginger garlic product that's already minced up, and it's just sort of held in its own juices. Yeah. It's great.
Okay.
It's definitely a good option if you
tip.
don't want to cut your own or you're a little nervous about doing that. Ginger is very easy to cut. Fresh ginger, you go out. It's sold as a root. I bought it. You could buy it in bulk. Buy a little bit. Buy a lot. I bought mine at Harris Teeter. It was readily available. All you do is take it at home, take a vegetable peeler, peel the ginger, right? And you can smell it. It's a very, very obvious thing. Peel the ginger and then just cut it into strips and then just mince it like you normally would.
Cool.
Very, very easy to do.
Okay.
So we've got some fresh scallions, green onions is the other name, baby bella mushrooms, some green beans that we did not blanch or do anything to them. We just simply are using them raw, except for we picked them. And we've got a thinly sliced, basically julienne red bell pepper. One of the things you'll notice is that there are some similarities here between how everything is looking.
Thin.
Right? We're looking for a very similar, and even we'll go one step further, and we'll go this, right? So notice there's similarity here. You'll see that later on in the visual presentation of the dish.
And it's easier to eat that way too.
Exactly.
And it'll cook it more uniformly, which is good.
Exactly.
Yes.
Uniformity is our friend.
And
all right, so we've got our sauce reducing now. So this is our marinade. So this is going to be a really nice base. One of the things you noticed that we did not add in here is sugar, right? A lot of Asian stir fries will call for some sort of extra sugar. You can avoid it, and you can balance the sweetness out much better, much easier than actually using traditional sugar, because there's already a fair amount of you got a little bit of sugar in Sriracha to begin with, or even like a gochujang, which is the sweet chili sauce. So there's plenty of ways of balancing that out with adding an additional brown sugar or something to it.
Yeah, and look, worst case scenario, you can always use like a Splenda brown sugar in smaller amounts.
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you wanted it just a tad bit sweeter.
Absolutely. So we're not going to let this go too far. I don't want to get this to like term you may hear is al sec, which means almost dry. That's seen in more like Beurre Blancs and stuff like that when you're reducing wine down. This is just going to be a quick reduction, again, because I want to conserve some of this sauce so that we're going to have it along with the dish itself.
But what we're doing right now is thickening it, basically.
Exactly right. So you're concentrating it down, right?
Right.
So you take anything, you take orange juice and you reduce it down. You're going to concentrate that flavor because there's a smaller quantity of it.
Yeah.
Right. So that's basically what we're doing here.
Yeah. So it's going to be super delicious.
Exactly. So now I'm going to go ahead and add our boom, boom, boom. So let this guy reduce. I'm going to add our ginger. I'm going to add our garlic. I'm not going to add, now pro tip here, friends, we're not going to add all of our scallions. We're going to add 3/4 of them to start.
You will thank him later, I promise.
And then I'm going to reserve these fresh ones later on.
And we're using just some of our favorite vegetables, but you can use any vegetable that will saute, basically.
Exactly.
And that you would like, something like a broccoli or cauliflower, carrots, and zucchini even.
Yep.
And
so if you don't like, so if you're like, oh, my family's not a big fan of red bell peppers or green beans, hey, not a problem.
Right.
You could put in snow peas, you could put in broccoli, you could put in cauliflower, you could put in, potatoes. There's all sorts of things you could add in.
If you only have frozen, like a frozen California mix in the freezer, you can use that as well.
Or if you've got the green beans, peas, carrots, and corn mix, right? You could thaw that out and add that in.
Yeah, we're going to get a lot of questions about, well, I thought corn, peas, and potatoes were starches. Yes, they are. We can have them in moderation after 6 months.
So the other thing you notice here, guys, is that I'm not adding any salt to this.
Okay,
the salt is already in here, right? So we've got the low sodium soy. Again, one of the reasons why, I know I've made this mistake before, but when you're cooking, especially with salt and sodium, right? Same thing, first of all. Second of all, as you concentrate, right, we're reducing this sauce. So as I concentrate that down, that's going to get even saltier. So that soy is going to concentrate down even more. So I've already got some salt in there. I'm not going to add anything more because there's really no need to add additional. Yes?
Use like flour or other starchy things, which you usually traditionally use to thicken a sauce. Do you have some suggestions?
Oh, good question. Arrowroot.
Arrowroot
Will thicken.
This
mustard, if you like mustard will help thicken a sauce as well. That's a
good one.
That's an old trick.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
that would taste nice and like tangy in this.
Exactly.
But this is
So baby Bella's going in next.
at this point because of the reduction, which is kind of neat.
Also, want to make sure we're getting the full immersive experience here.
Yeah, and I just wanted to address one of the questions. Just like the vegetables, being able to use other types of vegetables, we can use other types of proteins as well. If you want to use chicken, shrimp, even like small pieces of fish, that's perfectly fine.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. It
Shrimp
might
is
cook
great
a little
in
bit
here.
different,
Chicken,
right?
Yep, it will cut down your cook time just a bit. I wouldn't marinate it nearly as long as I would marinate the beef. But yeah, you can use shrimp, you can use chicken, you can use duck, you can use pick your protein for sure.
I like that.
So now we're again. So this is more of a stew than it is an actual saute. Saute is done with little to no color and very little liquid. That's where I'm saying this is more of a stew. But we've got our mushroom softening in here as well. And again, you'll notice this dish is coming together very, very quickly. Right, that's the whole idea behind it being a la minute. Is relatively hot pan. We started over medium to high heat. Pan was on here. It was nice and warm. You heard it as soon as the beef hit the pan. Boom. That's what we want, right? And then, or in our case, sort of a wok, sort of a mock wok.
Now,
not your traditional cast iron sense with basically a jet burner underneath of it.
Yeah.
As you may have seen while you were travels.
And in terms of preparing for the week, a lot of people have trouble, just meal prepping in general. Cooking a big batch of this, even like one with chicken and one with beef, or one with shrimp and one with chicken, so you don't get sick of it.
Yep.
And then having different things to put this on. So having zucchini noodles, spaghetti squash, cauliflower rice.
This would be great with spaghetti squash.
Yeah. So you can use those as your alternative noodles or rice, and also. Now the Miracle Noodle Company, the Miracle Noodles.
Oh yeah, sure, the soba noodles.
Yeah, no, not the soba. The ones that are made of the, what is it called? shirataki, but it's the kojak.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
The kojak roots.
Yep.
And the shirataki, miracle noodles, whatever it's called in your store, because it'll be called a couple of different things. They also make rice now.
Oh, nice.
So they're like little pieces of it, and it has the consistency of rice.
Oh, awesome.
So that's kind of fun.
That is very fun.
Now, I want to just point out the beautiful colors in this, which means it has
Look at
tons
this.
of
Look at
antioxidants,
this deliciousness.
nutrients, vitamins, and minerals.
And you'll notice as well, I'm being very mindful with the amount of sauce that I have left in here. So I don't want to completely dry this out, but I want to allow it to still, again, have it reduce. You can't see it, but when you pull back, you'll start to see that. Just that little bit of sauce, because I still want to have that for the beef. I'm not too worried. I'm only going to cook this. So I sauteed the mushrooms for about 2-3 minutes. Added the green beans in again for another 2 to 3 minutes, because again, I want that texture. You know, the mushrooms are going to be softer, the bell peppers are going to be softer, but those green beans are going to be nice and crisp.
Right.
And we want that texture difference between the green beans. You'll notice when you taste it, you want that texture difference between the green beans and the other vegetables.
Yeah. So some of you might be thinking, if you're very soon out from surgery, this might be something that you would want to try. You could try it at the 1 month mark, but I might wait until like the 6 to 8 week mark after surgery, just because of the tougher meats and the crunchy vegetables. Okay. And
Look at this.
thank you,
Yum,
Anne.
yum, yum.
And what type of food prep are we watching? Well, we're doing the beef stir fry.
Yeah.
And then, of course, this is something that you can make in bigger bulk. Get your
Look
Tupperware
at
out.
this. Yum, yum, yum. Look at this deliciousness.
Very nice. Beautiful.
Question.
Is it per serving?
So per serving, it's going to be about 240 calories. Yeah, which is pretty
Yep.
good. And
So,
that
yep.
also gives you about 17 grams of protein.
Oh, okay.
So I added, for this dish, we did a pound of flank steak, or you could do a pound of skirt. Because again, you can divide that up between the four ounce portion, the four ounce portions, right? All right, so look at this. God, this looks good.
Okay.
Yum, I'm gonna add a little bit more pepper over here. Again, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Got plenty of salt in here from that soy.
I think it's interesting that you ask about calories also, because usually we just go by what we call the macronutrients of the protein, the carbs, and the fat. And really, at the end of the day, if you're ever having trouble losing weight farther down the line, you may want to look at calories. You might be overdoing some of your calories here and there. So with the research that I've looked at, it's about, after surgery, about 600 to 1,100 calories per day is on average what people are losing, or what people are consuming when they're losing. So it's something to consider. And then, of course, meeting with your dietitian to figure out those calories, especially if you're exercising, et cetera.
Also, especially for the comp members, guys, as someone who does this professionally, who cooks professionally, and I wouldn't say I'm an expert in nutrition by any means, but cooking has allowed me to understand, again, like Jana spoke to, macronutrients. Be very careful. There's a lot of misinformation out there, especially with a lot of diets as well, that you may see like, oh, my friend is doing this or my friend is doing that, and that's great, but please, like, before you start that as a bariatric patient, please talk to Jana and please seek out a professional before you start one of those diets, because we as bariatric patients have a modified system.
Yeah,
right? We have
it's
a modified
specific
stomach.
to your new stomach.
So you may think, oh, well, my friend did X and it worked for him or her, therefore I could do that, it'll work for me. Well, it may work initially, but it may be doing some unnecessary or unknown lasting damage. That's where it's just always best to run it. Hey, I saw this online. Let me not only put it on the comp page, but also even like message Jana or reach out to Jana and just email her, however, and say, hey, here's something I came across. What's your thoughts? Is this something that is bariatric friendly? If not, then that's okay. Right?
I agree wholeheartedly. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
All right,
so
guys.
what do
we have some delicious stir fry here. I love this dish so much. So I've reserved my scallions afterwards because I love that crunchiness of the scallions as well. And just some great little bit of color in here just to finish off this dish. Look at that. Yum, yum, yum.
Beautiful.
Oh, that looks good.
Someone had asked if this is keto, if they can use edamame, pasta. It could technically be keto, but we don't really promote a keto diet with bariatric surgery patients only because it's very high fat, moderate protein, and very, very low carb.
I was dancing around it, but keto was one that I was specifically referring
Yeah,
to.
I mean, it just might not be for long term what you want
Right.
As a bariatric patient,
Right.
like you said.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just not, again, we are not, we as bariatric patients have been modified, modified our bodies and have a modified system.
So
go ahead.
What I want to, though, piggyback on is
Yes.
that, yes, you can use certain keto recipes and use the lower fat versions of some of the ingredients that are in there. So technically, yes, this could be keto, but because it's a leaner, lower fat option,
Right.
It's
For sure.
I guess it could be both.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could
absolutely.
be both bariatric friendly
Absolutely.
and not. And then, Marika, she would sprinkle some sesame seeds on there.
Yes,
Look
ma'am.
At that.
Love it, Marika. I would note to your comment, Marika, about sesame seeds, that one of the things you would be mindful of, you could also add peanuts in here as well if you want to do that. The only thing I would be mindful of if you're going to do something like this for a larger group is that there's plenty of allergies out there.
So just double check.
Peanuts are a big one. Sesame seeds are a big one. So if you're going to do that, put it on the side and put it out of the dish. That way people can add it in as they want.
Right. Very good. Okay.
Just a little simple pro tip if you're serving this for, families coming over, friends are coming over. Hey,
Yeah.
I saw this great recipe. I'm going to put this out there. Boom.
Okay, good. And just to do one more question, the edamame spaghetti. It looks like it's high in carbs, but the net carbs are pretty low, and the protein is in the high 20s. So
There you go. Love
it's not a bad option for when you're starch free.
Absolutely.
Okay,
All right.
let's get to
I
it.
want to swing back up. We'll give this a try.
Okay, guests, you are up.
Thank you. Look at that. Oh, that looks so good.
Okay. Here you go.
Looks delicious.
Very good.
Thank you.
All right.
Yum, yum.
And again, this is my
So
mother's
simple,
favorite part
so
of the show.
flavorful. Here we are, Jana. One for you.
Yes, we are.
Look at that. Oh, yum. Look at this.
Here
This is
for ya.
perfect. Just the right amount of sauce, too. Just the
Is
right
it
amount of
okay for
sauce.
me since I'm just
I would take a very small bite.
small bite?
Or you could try the vegetables too. Try that first.
Okay.
Okay. Bon appetit.
Smells delicious.
Oh, yeah.
Very good. It does have a little kick from that.
The Sriracha. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
It does.
So you guys can also put that on after. Just to, make sure that it's not too much.
Yum.
Very good.
Very fresh.
Very fresh. Feels very authentic. All right. Well, what do you guys think? Good?
Very good.
Would you make it at home?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I just want to give a big thank you to everyone that stayed on and dealt with the technical difficulties. We love you. Thank you to WMAR2. Thank you to our sleeve chef.
Thank you to you guys for keeping the show going. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We
And
love
thank
what we
you.
do. We love having you join us every month. Thank you so, so much. We really mean it. We love just offering this platform to you, our amazing dietitian, Jana.
Well, thank you.
We love to hear about your success stories. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, and we will see you next month. Join us then. Take care.
Bye, everybody. Have a
Bye.
great night.